Good afternoon, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. We are at 1465 Northeast 15th Avenue here in Canby, located in the hall bathroom that's pretty close to the front doorway. It's about the frontmost bathroom in the house. We're going to check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Water's running and we're gaining access to the line through a pulled toilet. Looks like we are dropping into 3-inch ABS plastic. We're going to have water running and I'll zero the foot counter out once we drop it to the bottom of the flanchers. Off we go. I'm going to keep the camera moving along pretty quick here at the start just to get through the twists and the turns. We'll take a look at this on the way out when the line is drained. We do have some standing water here. Just transitioned over to 3034. Likely 4-inch pipe. We'll see if we see any other transitions of the ABS coming back though. And there's the main lateral there at about 80 feet. We're going to go locate that while the line drains off. We have a reasonable amount of standing water in the line here. We'll take a look at that here in just a moment. Alrighty, located the camera head successfully. Line terminates out on Northeast 15th. And I was a little bit worried we were going to see a depth like we did out there at the main. We're only about 3 foot 9 inches deep. To give you an idea, the average sewer line out there, by the time you hit a street curb, is a couple feet deeper than that. By the time you're at the average main, you're about 8 feet. So it's an extremely tight tolerance line to grade to. So it's part of the trickiness in, if you don't compact these things really, really well during the install process, you're going to end up with a belly like this. So already the line is fully drained out. We're already in. So as I rip my camera back, it's a trick I learned many, many years ago. When you've got about 2 inches or less of standing water in the line, when I rip the camera back quickly, you'll generally see that water line pull down below the camera lens. And it's not even getting close to coming down there. So from the looks of it, you've probably got at minimum 2.5 to 3 inches of standing water in the line here. And you can see the amount of buildup that's occurring in the pipe. So this is a belly I'm going to recommend repairs on. I would contact the city. I can't remember off the top of my head if the city of Canby takes responsibility for the sewer line. That would be worth checking into. And it looks like it starts here at about 58 feet. Which is probably right around where the street curb is at.
Gresham's really
I just located here. You're going to see I'm using green paint. You're going to see a green X just past the curb in the road, and then the green T marking at the main is on the far side of the street. You're about a few feet from the street curb on the opposite side of the road. So it spans dang near the entire width of the road. When you account for the crown of the road, I mean, we're only at 3 foot 5 inches deep right here, and about 3 foot 8 to 3 foot 9 inches at the main. When you take into account the crown of the road, there's not a lot of depth to play with there. It's hard to say if that is related to poor compaction or just simply not having enough grade to work with. But anyway, after doing as many scopes as I have, the average belly out there at this point does not concern me a whole lot. That's a pretty good sized belly there. You've got some rippling in the top of the pipe right here. You're almost oval shaped. The line looks intact though. That's not something I'm going to recommend to fix on, but I did at least want to point that out. That happens sometimes when people are doing work and go over the top of the line with an excavator or something of that nature. Anyway, it's there from around 57 feet to 80 feet. I recommend the repair on the line. If repairs are not done for some reason, oh, and it looks like we are bumping to 4-inch pipe right here. And then that would appear to be 6-inch 30-34. So we've got all 3 diameters there in this line. But anyway, if no repairs are done, I do recommend at least a Hydrojet to blast all the gunk out of the pipe. There's a lot of buildup there. And then we've got another belly here. And when you get a line with a tolerance this tight, in a lot of cases, I'm going to mark this belly out too. This one's not as significant as the other one, although it's closer into the home. And the way that this piece of pipe looks here, I can't tell if they just configured it this way or if that fitting actually dropped. But you often have to earn as much grade back as possible on these things, so this is what I'm also going to recommend to fix on here. And the closer into a home a belly gets, the more likely it is to result in a full-on backup because you don't have as much leeway to build up head pressure. All right, this belly here, luckily, is at least in the front yard area. You're still at about 3 foot 9 inches deep there at the start of the belly, so you're not getting a lot of depth change across the whole sewer line here, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is.
And we're about the exact same depth here, about 3 foot 9 inches. You'll see this green paint marking in the front yard. So there's 2 sets of markings. You've got X's at each end of them that kind of differentiate it. You've got the belly in the front yard and then the one that's out on the road. All right, the clean out here, I have marked, it is approximate, but if you, to the left of the front door, you've got the 3 main windows there. The line comes out underneath the middle window. If you pull the bushes apart, you're gonna see a big green paint spot on the dirt there. That's approximately where the clean out is. And from what I can tell, I was out here probing that area for a long time the other day. It's probably fairly deep. I'll bet it's at least a foot deep. Alrighty, we are all pulled out here. Recommend the spot repair there from 35 to 38 feet to fix that belly. A bit of that is because the fitting looks dropped. And then from 57 to 80 feet, the big belly. And just kind of know with the line the way it is right now, this is one of those that may require a trench from, I mean, just about the front of the house all the way to the main, just because of the way that how tight the tolerances are here. So, and make sure after any repairs are done on this, that a rescope is performed. The way you want to do these is bury any belly in general or any kind of dig repair. Bury the line, compact it, get it ready for asphalt or concrete pouring. Scope it to make sure it looks good before doing those permanent surfaces in the event something needs to be corrected. And this line especially, just because of how tight everything is. Otherwise, everything else aside from those areas there all appears in good condition, clean, has good flow.